Good evening. Welcome once again into the Bulldog Digital Network as we get set for another Appalachian Athletic Conference doubleheader here from James L. Robb Gymnasium on the campus of Tennessee Wesleyan University here in Athens, Tennessee. Jared Wright bringing you the play-by-play here in our 10th year of the Bulldog Digital Network as we get set for a rematch between these two ball clubs and Reinhardt University Lady Eagles and the Tennessee Wesleyan Lady Bulldogs. Lady Bulldogs unfortunately lost the road game to Reinhardt back on November 12th, 79-62. Reinhardt jumped out to a 20-9 lead after the first quarter. Wesleyan rallied in the second to score 20 of their own, but gave up 18. And then Reinhardt continued to outscore the Lady Bulldogs by 8 points in the second half to walk away with the 79-62 victory. Looking at the individual scoring from that previous matchup, Lady Bulldogs were paced by Jalea Lindsay, who is now back in the lineup, getting the start tonight after a long time of injury there. She had 16 points, 5 boards on the afternoon there. 12 points by Tally Lawson with 4 rebounds, along with a couple of steals as well. And then 10 points by Aubrey Long with 4 rebounds to her credit as well, were the leading scorers for Tennessee Wesleyan. On the other side for Reinhardt, they were led by Lana Van Dyke. She had 18 points, 8 boards for the Lady Eagles. And then Alexis Wilson put up 17 points in that one. And then 2 other, Isaiah McCutcheons and LaDeja Smith, adding 11 and 10 respectively in theirs. And McCutcheons adding 10 assists for a double-double in that category as well. Tennessee Wesleyan comes in 4-9 overall. They're 6 in tied for 6th in the conference. They come in 3-5 in the conference, actually tied for 7th, correction. Tied for 7th and come in 3-5 in conference play. The Lady Eagles now sitting in 3rd place alone at 6-1 in conference play, 9-5 overall. Tony Campbell, the head coach there in his 2nd season, assisted by Terry Gibson and James Black. Coach Black been around the conference for a number of years and familiar across the coaching ranks here. But let's pause for the national anthem. National anthem taken care of. Coach Jason Smith, the head coach of the Lady Bulldogs in his 2nd season, assisted by Jaron Tall in his 2nd as well. Jaron coaching helping both ball clubs here for Tennessee Wesleyan. Let's look at your starting lineups. Number 2 for the Lady Eagles will be Isaiah McCutcheons, 5'2" sophomore guard, leads the team at 10.7 points per game from Tryon, Georgia. Number 5, 5'9" senior guard, LaDeja Smith. She averages 9.8, Rome, Georgia native. Number 10, Maria Grant, 5'3" senior guard from Huntsville, Alabama. Number 22, Chloe Van Dyke, 5'11" freshman forward. And then 34, Mackenzie Franklin, the 5'10" senior forward from Marietta, Georgia. Van Dyke from Douglasville, Georgia. On the other side, for the Lady Bulldogs, they will start number 1, Sloan Carpenter, the 5'6" sophomore guard, averaging 8.5 points per game, along with 5.6 rebounds from Cleveland, Tennessee. Number 2, Tally Lawson, the junior guard, 5'7". She averages 9.5 points per game and also 5.6 rebounds per game from Decatur, Tennessee. Then the forward inside, number 3, Julia Howard, the 5'10" sophomore forward, averages 5.6 points, 3.2 rebounds from Decatur, Tennessee. Number 12, Cameron Brown, the 5'5" freshman guard from Sevierville, Tennessee, averages 12.3. And then number 23, as we mentioned, Jalea Lindsay, 5'9" sophomore forward, back into the starting lineup. She averages 14.2 points per game, has now started 5 out of the 6 games she will play in. She's from Cleveland, Tennessee. Lady Bulldogs coming off of a loss in overtime to Spartanburg Methodist on this floor back on Saturday, 71-70, trying to right the ship and get off of this 5-game losing streak that Coach Smith has his ball club in. The Lady Bulldogs just could not get it going offensively on Saturday. Of course, they are coming off a runner-up finish in the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament last season. This series, 21-17 over the last decade or so, as the tip goes to the Lady Eagles. And we get set for action here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Reinhardt with the ball first. McCutcheon's with it. Now driving is going to be Grant. McCutcheon's has it right back, goes left wing. Here's a drive by Smith, running floater. Going to be tipped out of bounds by the Lady Bulldogs with 9 on the shot clock. Wesleyan, those home white uniforms with the iced out look, going white numerals trimmed in royal blue. Bulldogs across the chest. Inbounds coming here from McCutcheon's, all navy blue unis with gold stripe down the side for Reinhardt and gold numerals. And quickly, Reinhardt in the lead first with a 3-ball from McCutcheon's. Wesleyan opens, gives it to a high post feed to Howard. Howard looking, now has it back in the middle of the paint, gives it to Carpenter on the wing. Knotted up at 3 apiece after Sloan Carpenter drills the 3-ball. Just under a minute played here in the first quarter. Tennessee Wesleyan man-to-man defense. Shot inside here by Smith is good. Reinhardt will keep their lead. 5-3. Carpenter goes high post feed to Howard. Howard skip pass, goes far corner to Lindsay. Lindsay's 3 hits kind of the corner of the backboard. Falls into the hands of Reinhardt. McCutcheon's pushing it into the arc, now gets it outside to Grant. Grant working against Carpenter, goes left side of the lane. Charge called on Grant, her first, team first of the quarter. Tennessee Wesleyan averaging 67.5 points per game, just a little bit better than the 66.1 by Reinhardt. It's 4th and 8th in the conference, respectively. Both teams shooting in the 39% category from behind the arc. Wesleyan turns it over in the backcourt, but avoids the damage there as a miss by Kua Blah, who's checked into the ball game at the first whistle. Wesleyan has it out front. Brown, Lindsay, Howard, now back to Brown. Brown goes left side of the paint, lost the handle, picked up here by McCutcheon's. McCutcheon's gonna push the pace. Howard trying to cut her off, blocks it out of bounds. Just over 2 minutes played here in the first 10-minute frame. Wesleyan trailing 5-3. McCutcheon's ready to inbound. Reinhardt has it on the perimeter in the hands of Smith. Smith working against Brown. Skip pass, they'll send it near side to McCutcheon. She's trying to take her defender off the dribble. Instead, Franklin now with it away from the basket. Down low feed to Smith. Turning, layup is good on the post move by Smith. Deja Smith knocking down that shot. 4-point lead, the largest of the game for Reinhardt. Here's Carpenter, got free of a defender. Pass to Howard a little bit late. It'll go out of bounds off of Howard, even though she got bumped. Could not get the whistle in her favor right there. So Lady Bulldogs will drop back defensively. play half-court defense. Carpenter picking up McCutcheons. Now they kind of switch off. Here's a drive by Van Dyke. Drops off the pass to Franklin, and we'll have a shooting foul, it looks like, coming up. This one's going to be on Howard, her first, team first of the quarter. Number 35, Courtney Berry into the ball game. 6-foot senior forward for the Lady Bulldogs from Benton, Tennessee. She'll step in there. One of the only, well, actually the only senior listed for the Lady Bulldogs, as Franklin makes the first free throw. Reinhardt with 6 seniors in their lineup, or at least on their roster. Franklin goes 2 for 2 at the line here. Give the Lady Eagles 6-point lead. Carpenter calling out the signals after Coach Smith gives it to her. High feed into Berry at the top of the key. Berry trying to take Franklin off the dribble. Backdoor cut by Lawson. Layup on the right side is good. Nice little dish by Courtney Berry. Finds Lawson open underneath. Lawson converts the layup between 2 defenders. Cutchins looks to the right, passes it off to Smith. Smith, a little stutter step, keeps the ball. Now they'll swing it left side, back to McCutcheons. Gets to the elbow, kicks it out on the left wing. Ball poked away by Lindsay. Lawson picks it up. Lawson pushing the pace. Wesleyan without the numbers, and then they're going to throw it away. Lawson and Lindsay couldn't connect right there. Reinhardt will get Lana Van Dyke into the game, sophomore center, number 12. She'll check in. She'll get it at the high post. Here's McCutcheon, step back 3 around the screen, and it's good. Reinhardt has knocked down 2 3 balls. McCutcheon started the game with 1 from the far corner. Here's a drive by Lawson. Well, I thought the foul was going to be called, but instead they called the travel. Looked like Chloe Van Dyke was going to pick up the foul call, but nothing there, says the official. Carpenter out of the ball game. Jordan White, number 10 for Tennessee Wesleyan, in 5'4" freshman guard from Kodak, Tennessee. McCutcheon's bringing it up. Jordan White right there on her. They'll send it right side into the hands of Smith. Ball sails out of bounds on an errant pass by the Lady Eagles. Lady Bulldogs have gotten the win in Kingsport against them as Berry drills a 3 from the top of the key. They leave her wide open. She knocks it down. Going back to February of 2025, now we can say last year. Lady Bulldogs won it 88-69 in Kingsport on their way to the championship game. 3-pointer launched and banked in there. Kua Blah. 15-8. Lady Bulldogs still trail by 7. 4:50 left here in the first quarter. White kicks it back out to Berry. Van Dyke recovers quicker this time. Now a lob to Lindsay on the baseline, or the middle of the paint cut, and it's good. Good feed by Courtney Berry. 2 big assists for Courtney Berry right there. Here's Smith on the left wing. Into the low block. Grant had it, and then 2 shots coming here on the foul by Tennessee Wesleyan. This one's going to be on Jalea Lindsay, her first, team first. And it's a media timeout here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Reinhardt in front of Tennessee Wesleyan, 15-10. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Back here on the Bulldog Digital Network as Reinhardt steps to the line for 2 free throws. Smith knocks down the first one, pushes their lead back to 16. .417 to go. In the first quarter. McKinley Brothers into the game, freshman guard. She'll replace McCutcheons. 4:17 to play, back to a 7-point advantage for Reinhardt. Quickly, Jordan White gonna push it. 34, Leslie Hames into the ball game, freshman forward from Decatur, Alabama. White working into the low block, gets blocked. Ball nearly gets out of bounds, but Reinhardt saves it. They'll push it up the floor into the hands there of Grant. She'll feed it to the baseline to Smith, back out front to Grant. Spins into the paint, kicks out. Smith bobbled the pass. She'll try to reset. 3-pointer launched here by Grant, no good. Berry collects the rebound quickly into the hands of White. Lawson finds Berry, top of the key, passes up on the shot, little head fake. Ames drives, kicks it over to Lindsay. Lindsay now to Berry out front. Berry's 3-pointer off the mark. White trying to chase it down, nearly saves it, but scoops it out of bounds. And Wesleyan and Reinhardt will both send a substitution apiece in. Aubrey Long, number 14 from Benton, Tennessee, checks in, the junior guard for Tennessee Wesleyan. And then Mackenzie Franklin back in here for the Lady Eagles. It's going to be Brothers running the point. Goes left side. Now gets it right back on the cut. Deflected by Hames out of bounds. Good defense there. As Leslie was rolling, Carpenter quickly hustling to the table. Lawson will get the breather. 3:05 to play, first quarter. Wesleyan trailing 17-10. Missed 3, too strong there from Grant. Frustrated with herself. Here comes number 10 for Wesleyan. White, correction. They're working around to Hames. She misses the 3. And Smith collects it. Feed down low. Franklin now kicks it out opposite wing. Ball poked away. Loose ball picked up by Jordan White. It's a 2-on-2 break. She's looking for extra help. White spins to the left block. Layup is good by the freshman. Lead of Reinhardt down to 5, 17-12. Wesleyan has yet to string back-to-back field goals back, and that's going to continue as Reinhardt answers right back. Just over 2 to play. Continuing to keep that lead around the 7-point deficit. Long high post feed on the bounce to Berry. Berry picks up the dribble, looking for help on the perimeter. Out to Carpenter it goes. Shot clock at 10. Here's a hesitation dribble. White goes reverse lay in and good. What a play. Jordan White hit the deck, looking for the foul call. Couldn't get it, but still an outstanding highlight play there by Jordan White. Grant trying to calm the run of Wesleyan. Now Lady Bulldogs have a chance to go back-to-back after the missed 3. Carpenter and White, top of the key. Minute 20 to go. White trying to take the drive, and instead going to get the foul called against Brothers, her first. Team second of the quarter. Reinhardt, almost a wholesale change. Franklin will stay out there, but McCutcheon's back in. Tria Blaylock will check in, junior guard out of Tiger, Georgia. And then let's see, number 11, Nael Kemper into the ball game. Here's Long with it. Long now goes inside for a drive, missing it. Chloe Van Dyke also back into the ball game for the Lady Eagles along with McCutcheons. McCutcheons has the ball, gives it to Van Dyke into the paint. A lot of contact. Van Dyke fights through it, makes a tough bucket. Pushes that lead once again to 7. The 5th time they have hit the 7-point lead mark. 50 seconds to play in the quarter. Hand off to Carpenter. Carpenter drives. Short jumper. Doesn't get the home bounce off the rim and the glass. So Reinhardt will push it back down. 35 seconds to go. Franklin face up against Berry. Jumper short. Nobody boxed out Van Dyke. She comes flying in. Her second chance put back is no good. And Wesleyan is going to have a chance to take the last shot of the quarter. 20 seconds to go as White crosses midcourt. Goes left wing to Carpenter. Carpenter dribbling it. Crossover to the left. Gets it to Berry. She'll launch another 3. That one looked good, but just off the back of the iron. 6 seconds to play in the quarter. Here's McCutcheon's driving. Wesleyan trying to stop ball. Van Dyke heaves it at the buzzer and drills it. And so the largest lead of the ball game comes at the buzzer as Chloe Van Dyke gives Reinhardt the 23-14 lead as we head to the second quarter here from Athens, Tennessee. Back here, start of the second quarter. Tennessee Wesleyan trailing by 9 against Reinhardt. First possession, Brown has it underneath for the Lady Bulldogs. Looking for help, and she double dribbles it. Felt like she got it knocked out of her hand, but official says that was not the case. So Wesleyan with Lawson, also Brown, Lindsay, Carpenter, and Jada Edwards into the ball game, number 25. Here's Van Dyke out front, working, trying to get it down to Lana Van Dyke. They intercept it, does Tally Lawson. She'll go, kicks it out. Edwards drops it to Carpenter. Carpenter sends it over to Brown. Brown now to Lindsay on the left wing. Just had a minute played so far. Lindsay trying to take her defender off the dribble. Shot clock down to 8. Here's Edwards on the drive, right side. Hard scoop shot, missed it, and Lindsay's putback draws the foul. Exactly what Tennessee Wesleyan was trying to do, create some inside attack, and this one's going to be on Deja Smith, her first, team first of the quarter. So Lindsay steps to the line, 71% shooter. Makes the first one, so the first point of the second quarter goes to Tennessee Wesleyan. Still trailing by 8, though. They've never led, tied up at 3 apiece. Lindsay goes 1 for 2 at the line. Far side, it's going to be Blaylock trying to drive inside. Brown cuts her off. Over the shoulder pass out to Chloe Van Dyke. Van Dyke in the lane, travels with it. Her and her sister Lana there trying to work out the communication, trying to throw it across the lane. They're from South Paulding High School in Douglasville, Georgia. Kick out, Brown open for 3 in the far wing, missed it. Good offensive board by Edwards. Edwards to Lawson, top of the key. Lawson thought about the step back. She'll kick it right to Edwards. Edwards, good feed to Carpenter, who misses the floater. Wesleyan just missing some point-blank shots. Shooting under 40% now. Reinhardt shooting 50% from the field, 8 of 16. Chloe Van Dyke out to McCutcheons. Head fake. She'll dribble right. Now bounces it down to Lana. Lana Van Dyke gets the bucket and the foul. And this foul is going to be on Edwards. Edwards. Her first, team first of the quarter. Maria Grant into the ball game as Blaylock will exit. 8 minutes to play exactly. Lawson rebounds the missed free throw. 10-point advantage, their largest. Now a miss inside by Lindsay. Ball battled for. Howard on the ground with Van Dyke. Possession arrow signals it Reinhardt's way. So Lady Bulldogs will drop back defensively. Edwards out of Maryville, Tennessee, sophomore guard. Howard just checked back in for her, though. Previous free throw. Here's a drive by Smith off the mark. Rolled across the front of the rim into the hands of Carpenter. 7.5 to go. Bounce pass down to Howard. Little turning hook shot from the left hand goes off to the right side. 7:20 to go in the half. Van Dyke to Van Dyke. Lana in the lane, draws the foul. And the forwards here for the Van Dyke sisters representing a size challenge for the Lady Bulldogs. Lindsay picks up her second. Ames and White back in for the Lady Bulldogs. Coach Smith making some quick subs there with Lindsay picking up her second foul. Carpenter will get a breather as well. No foul trouble there for Sloan. First one for Lana Van Dyke is good. 26-15. That previous matchup, Wesleyan had their best free throw shooting. 91%. That was about the only highlight they could pull out outside of maybe 5 blocks, which they matched that against Cumberland's. Here's White. Inside, shot off the mark once again. Tennessee Wesleyan needing a field goal here in the second quarter. Right now, only the one free throw made by Lindsay. Reinhardt throws it over the head, out of bounds. Kouabla checks in. White is going to run it up the floor here for Wesleyan. Kouabla picks her up in the backcourt. White working against her. Howard setting the top of the key screen along with Hames. White passes it up before she can walk with it. Here's Lawson, the ball fake. Layup on the left side is no good, but the foul called on either 22 or 12 in the Van Dyke family. It's going to be on 12. Lana Van Dyke picks up her first, team second. She'll check out. Franklin returns for Reinhardt. First free throw is good for Tally Lawson. Again, reminder of the guys' game coming up after this one, around the 7:30 hour. Richard Morgan and his Eagles come to town, his first year at Reinhardt, but longtime Bluefield coach. Randy Casey and his ball club look to get the season sweep on the Eagles. Here's McCutcheons, takes a deep three, missed it. Kouabla pulls down the rebound. McCutcheons out front, working against Hames. Shot clock down to 6. McCutcheons takes it inside the arc. Long bounce pass, stolen away by Lawson. Lawson gets bumped. Frustration foul right there from Chloe Van Dyke, picking up her first, team third of the quarter. Good job by Lawson just to take it off the hand of Franklin as she was catching the bounce pass, trying to keep the dribble going. Lawson got the hand in there, swiped it away. White past the Bulldog logo at midcourt, gets it to Howard. Howard think she was trying to hand it off to her former high school teammate and Tally Lawson, but miscommunication. Van Dyke picks it up. Now Franklin out to McCutcheon's open for three, left wing, no good. Here's Lawson, quick crossover, gets into the paint. Shovel pass over to Howard. Now to White. White Euro step through the lane, layup good on the left side. The first field goal coming at the 5:25 mark in the second quarter for the Lady Bulldogs. First one of the second quarter, that is. Reinhardt jumped out to a 3-0 lead. The Lady Bulldogs knocked down a three to tie it up. And then Reinhardt rattled off 6 straight points. They have had the lead since. Here's a little nice underhanded scoop from Grant. She converts another Reinhardt bucket, pushes it back to double-digit lead. Just a good play by her. Credit where credit is due. Brown high post feed to Howard. Backdoor cut by Hames. Left open, missed the layup. Pads the rebounding stats, and the putback is good, so second chance points. Made a good head fake and a wide open cut to the back door, and timeout called here by Reinhardt. And so we will take the timeout. It'll be a full media timeout after the 30-second call by Reinhardt. So 4:32 left, Wesleyan trailing 29-20. We'll be back in 60. Back here out of the Reinhardt timeout that turned into a media timeout. Wesleyan forces the turnover. Coach Campbell pleading his case that it was tipped by Tally Lawson, but turnover from Reinhardt to Tennessee Wesleyan. Shot clock will move to 20 as Wesleyan gets to inbound it in the front court. Lawson, though, will key it into the back court to White. White, Carpenter, Howard, Hames, and Lawson, the 5 for Tennessee Wesleyan. Carpenter circles back outside on the perimeter. Now a moving screen called on Julia Howard, her second foul. Team third of the quarter, so both teams with 3 fouls apiece here in the quarter. Courtney Berry into the game for Howard, who will set with the 2 fouls. Far side of the floor, White guarding number 21, Brothers, who works it up the floor with McCutcheon's out. Now offensive foul called the other way. This one's going to be on Smith, her second, team 4th. So 3:57 to play. Smith picks up her second. Coach Campbell looks back at his staff to see how many Smith has on that number. Van Dyke's coming back to the scorer's table. Here's Carpenter from Berry, kick out, inside the out game. Hames misses the 3, looked good, but just short on the front of the rim. Pushing the ball is going to be Grant. Between the legs, now crosses to the left hand. Skips it across the court to Franklin, who misbobbles it, kind of mishandles it, and it bobbles off her leg out of bounds. So Reinhardt goes with the size. I got to get somebody off the court. Franklin will be as Van Dyke's check in. White brings it near side. Now back to the middle of the floor to Lawson it goes. Bounces to Barry. Barry dribbles it to the left angle. Here's Lawson. Out to Barry. Open for three. A little inside out try again. Missed it. Lawson battling for the rebound, but Van Dyke comes away with it. She'll push it up the far side of the court. Stops at the Dwayne Farmer Stan Harrison court logo. They work it around now to the elbow to Lana Van Dyke. Kuabla has it on the wing. Working against Carpenter. Drives right side of the paint. Layup is good by Kuabla. 31-20. Wesleyan trailing by 11. 2:46 to go until half. Need some shots to start falling. Wesleyan shooting 33%. Average 39%. Foul called on the shot. Well, it'll be a shooting foul either way because it's 5 fouls on Reinhardt. Audrey Kuabla picks up her first. So Hames at the line. .84% shooter on the season so far. First free throw is good. Wesleyan with just 7 second quarter points thus far. On the other side, just 8 for Reinhardt. So Wesleyan matching them now after 2 made free throws. McCutcheon's back into the game, controlling the point here. Reinhardt still shooting 50%, 11 of 22 from the field. Turnover here on the drive. Wesleyan's Barry picks it up. Now White loses the handle. Van Dyke trying to pick it up. Chloe it is. Gets it to Grant. Grant bumped off the shot by Barry, and 2 free throws coming here for Grant. It's going to be the third on the Lady Bulldogs. Or sorry, correction, the fourth in the quarter. Reinhardt coming off of their best three-point shooting night, 11 of 22 against Point. Their worst free throw shooting at 50%, 8 of 16. So Grant makes the first one here. So they shot 50% from 2 spots on the floor. One of them is really good, being the three-point line. The other one being the free throw line is not what a coaching staff would want. Wesleyan coming off of their worst three-point shooting game against Spartanburg Methodist, 7 of 31 for 22.6. Right now they're 2 of 9 for 22%. They did collect the most defensive rebounds for the second time this season, 33 against Spartanburg Methodist, both times actually. Both free throws are good. Stoppage of play for just a moment. We'll reset the clock here. Actually, it's a stoppage. Looks like Grant has some blood on the elbow, so training staff from Reinhardt trying to clean that up. Official. Give him 15 seconds, it sounded like, based on the counting. So 2:05 to go, Wesleyan trailing by 11. Missed opportunity once again for Tennessee Wesleyan. Left side, McCutcheon's with it on the wing. Minute 50 to go. Van Dyke down to Lana Van Dyke. Hook shot in the lane is good. Reinhardt in front by 13. Now their largest lead of the ball game. And Coach Smith wants to talk it over. Timeout on the court called by Wesleyan. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take them with them here on the Bulldog Digital Network. 1:39 to go here in the first half. Second quarter, of course, is the women's game now playing 4 10-minute quarters. White takes it to the elbow, now just inside the 15-foot mark, jumper off the mark. Wesleyan offensively just struggling here. Trying to get something going. Now just trying to get a stop. Here's a miss by Reinhardt, collected by Carpenter. Carpenter going to push it middle of the floor. White with it. Opposite side of the screen for Berry. Back to Berry. Had the shot, but passed it up. Gets it to Lawson. She'll fire the triple. Missed there. Carpenter deflects it out of bounds. And so Reinhardt with it once again. Wesleyan getting out rebounded 17-13. They are winning the turnover battle 9-10. But it's the shooting woes that have plagued the Lady Bulldogs here in the last several games continuing. Far wing, Smith now to McCutcheons from Van Dyke. Van Dyke. White's going to get called for the foul. I thought it was a moving screen going to be called on Lana Van Dyke, but that's going to send Reinhardt McCutcheons to the line. 70.6% on the season. She makes the first one. 36-22, 41.5 remaining. 14-point lead. Both free throws are good. Substitutions for Reinhardt. Kuabla in along with Brothers and number 11, Camper. Here's White, crossover, top of the key, hesitation move. Layup, no good on the left side. Berry gets the steal on the rebound. Kicks it out to Lawson. Here's White, top of the key to Carpenter. Her and Edwards were in the same place, same time. No turnover there. White with it, 7 seconds to shoot. Near corner, Edwards thought about the shot. 3 to shoot, 2, and she gets fouled on the shot. Coach Campbell pleading the case that Van Dyke was straight up, but there was some arms that came swinging down, and so Jada Edwards will go to the line. Van Dyke with 2. Edwards misses the first one. 9.3 remaining here in the quarter. Edwards, first game this year, makes the second free throw. Again, 9.3 remaining. 14-point lead. Franklin in. McCutcheons in and Smith in. McCutcheons bringing it up the floor. All the way in, layup too short. Lawson pulls the rebound. Wesleyan's going to have to heave it from half court. Doesn't work. So at the end of the first half, Wesleyan trailing to Reinhardt, number 3 team in the conference, 37-23. We're going to take a break here during halftime, and then right before the start of the second half, we will bring you some first half stats here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Welcome back to the Bulldog Digital Network as we get set for the start of the third quarter here. Lady Bulldogs trailing Reinhardt 37-23. Reinhardt shooting 48% from the field, 12 of 25 in the first half. Tennessee Wesleyan shooting 8 of 28, 28.6%. They are assisting on 5 of 8 made shots, but 8 field goals being made in the first half is why there's a huge deficit here for the Lady Bulldogs to try to overcome, down 14 as it stands right now. From the charity stripe, 10 of 11 for Reinhardt, 91%. Tennessee Wesleyan 5 of 8, 62.5%. Behind the arc, Tennessee Wesleyan 2 of 11 for only 18% compared to the 3 of 8 for 37.5% for Reinhardt. Turnovers still 9-10 in favor of Wesleyan. They've gotten 7 points off of 10 turnovers. And Reinhardt has gotten a point off of each turnover by the Lady Bulldogs. Rebounding a little bit closer now. Wesleyan losing that one 16-17. They do have 2 blocks in favor of 1 from Reinhardt, 5 steals and over 4. Leading scorers as Wesleyan's Cameron Brown takes the first 3 and misses it. McCutcheons and Smith for Reinhardt with 8 points apiece. Wesleyan's White with 6 points. As Chloe Van Dyke will make the first bucket here to start the third quarter on Reinhardt's first possession. 16-point advantage now, their largest. Foul called on Reinhardt's 22, Chloe Van Dyke. Her second of the ball game, team first of the third quarter. Jared Wright bringing you the action here from Dwayne Farmer and Stan Harrison Court. Of course, NAI Hall of Famers. The first Tennessee Wesleyan person to go into the NAI Hall of Fame was Dwayne Farmer in '86, and Coach Harrison, the last one to go in so far in 2019. They joined Jack Bowling and Bobby Davis. Their banners hanging across the way here in James L. Robb Gym. Drive and a layup here on the right side. Chloe Van Dyke's got another bucket. Pushes the lead up to 18. Minute played here in the third quarter. Lindsay has it down low, makes a nice move in the post, and finally another shot goes in for Tennessee Wesleyan. McCutcheons with it, working against Carpenter. It's Carpenter, Howard, Lawson, Lindsay, and Brown, the same starting 5. McCutcheons gets bumped on the drive. Official says it's on the floor. This one will be on Sloan Carpenter, her first, team first. Again, Reinhardt won the matchup earlier this season, 17-point win, 79-62 at home. Right there on that mark, close to it now as Van Dyke misses it. Lawson gets it, Van Dyke trying to poke it away. Lawson set to key it in. Gets it into Carpenter. Carpenter inside the arc. Gets it out to Lindsay in the corner. Lindsay finds Howard on the baseline. They quickly working it around. Nobody looking to take a shot yet. Lindsay driving, gets fouled on the floor. And this one's going to be on Smith, her third. That's the second on Reinhardt. Smith, one of their leading scorers with 8. She'll check out. Kuabla will check in. Carpenter key it in, 8:15 to play in the third. Here's Howard, drives, bounce pass across the lane to Lindsay. Jalea Lindsay has both field goals here in the second half for the Lady Bulldogs. Tennessee Wesleyan in this series, just some numbers for you here, 2011 all the way until 2016 season. Tennessee Wesleyan Lady Bulldogs rattled 13 wins in a row. Carpenter picks up her second foul quickly. Team second. White will return for Carpenter. The last several years, these teams have split, including one regular season game and then games at Kingsport in the conference tournament. You have to go back all the way to, well, the 2020-2021 season had a game canceled, but Reinhardt did win their game at their own place. So that technically counted as a season sweep. And then Wesleyan won the regular season in 21-22, but lost in the conference tournament to Reinhardt as they throw a pass away here. 2017-2018 season is the last time anybody, sorry, the 2019-2020 season, Reinhardt did sweep all three matchups that year. So it's been fairly back and forth. But Reinhardt up by 14 here, 41-27. Wesleyan got to play some defense. McCutcheons takes a three. It goes all the way in and out. That one's finally called a foul, thankfully, against Franklin. It was on the back of the Lady Bulldogs trying to rebound that, just kind of leaning against them, pushing. Easy foul call. Third foul on the Lady Eagles, first on Franklin. White gets it to the elbow to Howard. Howard passes it off to Brown. Brown gets a screen. Drive and kick to Lindsay. She's made both field goals. Here's Howard. Short 15-foot jumper is good for Julia Howard. Lady Bulldogs, 6 straight unanswered points. Cuts the deficit down to 12. Under 7 to go in the third. Van Dyke, Chloe Van Dyke gets stuck in the lane. Howard intercepts the pass. Lady Bulldogs have a 3-on-2 break. White with it on the wing. Now out to Lawson. She'll fire the three. That one caroms to the left. Had an open look. Just could not get it on track. Here's Grant out front. 6.5 to go in the quarter. Spins, middle of the lane, gets fouled on the shot, and Brown's going to pick up her first. Team third, so both teams committing 3 fouls apiece so far. Lana Van Dyke returns for Franklin. Wesleyan's Hames coming back to the scores table. Is Grant going to step to the line, 76% shooter. First free throw is made. 6:29 to play. Second free throw is in there. So lead right back to 14, where it was at the half. Wesleyan did better defensively in the second quarter. They gave up 23 in the first. So just like the game earlier this season, struggled in that first quarter where they got outscored 20-9 in the previous time. This time 23-14. Here's a nice cut by Lawson, gets blocked out of bounds. Inbounds coming from White. Gets it into Howard, quickly right back to White. She'll drive in, layup on the right side. Blocked by Alana Van Dyke. White stays with it, gets it to a cutting Lindsay. Layup good on the right side. Good determination by Jordan White to stay with that and also to find Lindsay on a good cut. Again, Lindsay, 6th game of the season. She's second game in a row she's been back. White going to get called for the trip here against McCutcheons. White picks up her second, team 4th. Again, we're tied up at 3 start this game. Wesleyan had tied it up after Reinhardt opened with a three-pointer, and then 6 straight points by the Lady Eagles helped them on the way to a 23-14 first quarter. And in the second quarter, Wesleyan defended a little bit better. Lost that quarter 14-9. So more in range. Missed free throw on the second attempt. Rebound by Reinhardt. They'll reset. Wesleyan trying to score. A foul here underneath. It looks like Jordan White's going to be able to go to the line. This one on Lana Van Dyke. 4th on the Lady Eagles. Van Dyke going to stay in with 3 fouls right now. Barry in for Howard. So Jordan White to the stripe. Misses the first one. 5:40 to play in the quarter. Second one by White is in there. Franklin and Smith return. Smith has got 3 fouls of her own. Franklin with one. She'll catch the ball top of the key, working against Berry. Hands it off. McCutcheons gets a three-pointer launch, missed. Lindsay collects the rebound, gets it off to the guard in White. White gives it quickly to Hames. She'll fake the shot. Skip past to Berry, top of the key. White drives, elbow, gets into the paint, bounces it out to Berry. Quickly finds Hames open on the left wing, and it's in there. Leslie Hames cuts it under double digits. It's 44-35. Transition defense is not there for the Lady Bulldogs, and Smith able to make a quick lay-in. White trying to get free of McCutcheons all the way into the paint. Flips it out to Lindsay. White slow to get up, but she's there. Berry, top of the key, fires a triple, in and out, that one goes. Good open look. She can knock them down, but doesn't work out there. Here's McCutcheons. 11-point lead. Kuabla cuts, gets the pass, it deflects into the hands of Franklin, so Reinhardt will keep it. Kuabla fires the three short. Rebound collected. McCutcheon's going to commit the foul as she shoves Wesleyan out of the way. And it'll be Wesleyan's ball underneath. There should be a media timeout coming here. 4:20 to play in the third. Wesleyan trailing 46-35. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Out of the timeout, Wesleyan trailing by 11. They cut it down to 9 after Leslie Hames had knocked down a good three-pointer. Now Jordan White at the line after the foul by Reinhardt's McCutcheons, picking up her first, team fifth. White at the line makes the first one. 10-point deficit, 4:20 to play in the third. Wesleyan just got to get the offense clicking here. It's been the frustration, I know, for several games here. Seems when one's off, everybody's off. 9 points separates the two ball clubs right now. Reinhardt with it on the perimeter. Smith now kicks it near side to Brothers. Franklin down low. Franklin lost a handle of it again. She'll wipe the perspiration off her hands on her jersey, it looks like. Saw her lose one earlier on the far sideline in the first half. White's bringing it near side. Under 4 we go. Brothers gets picked up by the screen from Berry. Shovel pass by White to Berry. Hames, extra pass to Lindsay. Lindsay running floater, blocked, gets her on board. Putback is good. Jalea Lindsay, what a play. Fights through the defensive stop, gets the board and the putback. Cuts it down to a 7-point game, 46-39. Three-pointer launched by Reinhardt very quickly. Lawson battling to get the rebound. Lawson gets tripped up, no call. Berry going to commit the foul here against Smith. prevent the layup. Wesleyan's going to pick up their team 5th of the quarter. So back-to-back quarters that both teams have committed the 5 fouls apiece after only 2 in the first. And Deja Smith at the line, 56% shooter on the season. She's now 3 of 3 from the line tonight. 3:23 to play in the quarter. Both free throws good. Cameron Brown coming back in to replace Lawson. Coach Campbell pacing the sideline as well as Coach Smith for Tennessee Wesleyan. Berry with the ball, hands it off to Hames. Step back 3 for Hames is in there. Leslie Hames with 2 big third quarter threes, cuts it to a 6-point game. Wesleyan needs to stop defensively here. Right side it comes into the hands of Camper. Camper looks left, gives it to Franklin. Ball fake, she'll drive. Screen set, now Franklin sets a screen for Camper. Out front it goes to Smith. Smith puts it on the floor, 10 to shoot. Camper drives, dishes to Smith. Berry tries to close out quickly. Ball rebounded by Lindsay and gets fouled by Franklin. We'll make sure it will be on 34, Franklin, her second. And so Jalea Lindsay's going to get to go to the line. Trailing by 6 are the Lady Bulldogs here. Again, trailed by 14 at the end of the second quarter. Reinhardt's Grant will re-enter for Blaylock. Lindsay waiting on the basketball at the charity stripe. First free throw bounces off the back of the rim and straight off to the right. Lindsay's second one in there, looked much better. 5-point deficit, 2:35 to play, 48-43. Reinhardt in front. Brothers with it, trying to get it down low to Smith. Instead, top of the key, it goes to Grant. Grant's going to drive to the elbow. Now back to the middle of the floor, gets it down to Smith. Wesleyan trying to help double team, but she'll shoot it up and over Lindsay right there. Still just 7-point deficit, half of what the halftime lead was. Hames going for another triple, and it's in there. Keep feeding Leslie Hames. It's a 4-point game. That's 3 of them here in the third quarter, and a timeout called by Reinhardt. With 1:58 to go in the third, it'll be a media timeout. We'll be out in 60 seconds. Back in 6. Back here on the Bulldog Digital Network, Lady Bulldogs cut it down to a 4-point game. Out of the Reinhardt timeout. Under 2 to play. Pass down low to Smith. Bodying up against Brown. Gets under the basket, finds McCutcheon. She's open for a long 2 and drills it. Wesleyan just let her come off the screen, off ball, and get wide open. A little mismatch. Still just a 2-possession game. Leslie Hames in the near corner. See if Wesleyan gets it to her. White has it on the top of the key. Jada Edwards transfer in from Freed Harmon. Berry fires the three. Banks off the glass, no good. Transition for Grant. Layup, no good. Ball rebounded by Hames now. Up to Brown on the lob. Brown trying to beat McCutcheons. Goes up, gets fouled, and she travels with it instead. Looked like a jump stop that she got knocked over, but that one, Coach Smith pleading the case on that one. Don't blame him, the shot went in. Thought it was going to be a foul call. He's out there pleading that the shuffling feet is what the official says. So 2 points wiped off the board for Wesleyan, unfortunately. Up the far side of the court goes McCutcheons, drops it to Franklin, top of the key, guarded by Berry. Hand off to Smith. Edwards picks her up. Edwards tried to tie the ball up, but gets called for the foul. Her second, and of course both teams already in the 5-foul bonus. Will send Smith to the line. Wesleyan outscoring the Lady Eagles 23-15 right now in the third quarter. First free throw missed by Adasia Smith. Wesleyan will take that one. Smith does convert the second one. 7-point deficit, 57.5 remaining in the third quarter. White gets the inbound. Gonna walk it up the floor, guarded by Grant. Goes left side of a screen. Grant had it poked away. That's gonna be on Grant, her second. Coach Campbell pleading the case on that one, so both coaches trying to figure out what the officials are calling here. So Jordan White back to the charity strike, 9 of 14 of the Lady Bulldogs, 64%. Got to improve that here in the third and fourth quarter remaining. 6-point game, 53-47. Wesleyan shoots 74.5 as a team. Reinhardt 66. They're shooting 76. White converts both free throws. Carpenter going to come back into the game. 48.4 remaining, 5-point deficit. White will take a breather. Jada Edwards, her first game here, was talking about the transferring in, but played her prep ball at Maryville High School. Another local high school with a lot of athletic success. Smith on the wing, gets it out to Franklin, top of the key. Shot clock down to 12. Trying to work it down to Smith. Now McCutcheons out front to Franklin, guarded by Berry. Shot clock at 5. Up top, Grant gets it, and nobody out there. Now Edwards tries to go. Ball caroms off to the right, trying to save it. Carpenter does. Dribbles past 2 defenders. Then McCutcheons runs her over. That just went back court, but no call there. Reinhardt had gotten the steal and took possession in the front court and then stepped back court. Should have been a call. Wesleyan's Carpenter heaves it. Coach Smith going to ask about that one right there. And I agree with him. So at the end of the third quarter, Wesleyan down by 7. They cut the halftime deficit in half. 55-48. We got final 10 minutes coming up in 60 seconds. Final 10 minutes to go in this one. Wesleyan had cut it down to 4 with 2:05 remaining in the third. Now it's back to a 7-point deficit. They do outscore the Lady Eagles 25-16 in that third frame. See if they can continue that success. A lot of that driven by Leslie Hames, who's got 13 points. 3 of 6 from behind the arc, 2 of 2 at the line, knocking down an inside shot as well. Reinhardt will open with the ball. McCutcheon's across midcourt. Bounces it over to Lana Van Dyke, who's been sitting with 3 fouls. And then Reinhardt turns it over. That's what Wesleyan needs. Wesleyan's Lindsay, Carpenter, Hames, Brown, and Howard, the 5 out there. Kuabla, Lana Van Dyke, McCutcheons, Grant, and Chloe Van Dyke, the 5 for Reinhardt. Missed jumper inside the paint there by Howard. Reinhardt pushing the pace up the floor. Gets it to Chloe Van Dyke. Gets a screen from Lana. Howard switches off. Shot off the mark. Ball tipped around. Chloe Van Dyke comes away with it. Finds McCutcheons now in the near corner. Grant takes the 3 and drills it. Pushes that lead back to double figures. 45 seconds in to the fourth quarter. Wesleyan out rebounding Reinhardt 28-27 currently. Hames with it. Takes another 3. This one off the mark. Unfortunately, the hot streak there ends. See if she can get it going again, though. She has knocked down the most 3s tonight for the Lady Bulldogs. Lana Van Dyke dribbles high. Rebound on the floor. Ball still battled for. Jump ball. Possession arrow goes Wesleyan's way. It looked like a high dribble carry by Lana Van Dyke. No call. So Cameron Brown going to inbound it. Wesleyan's going to see full court pressure here. Carpenter double teamed in the backcourt. Herm Brown exchange it. Brown guarded by McCutcheons. Now Carpenter with it. Carpenter calls out the signal. Here's Howard. Free throw line finds Lindsay. Near corner for 3, and it's in there. Jalea Lindsay answers back, cuts it back to a 6-point game, or 7-point game, correction. Minute since the 3 by Grant for Reinhardt. Here's McCutcheons out front, guarded by Carpenter. Lana Van Dyke with it. Hands it back to McCutcheons. McCutcheons dribbles to the right. Hesitation dribble. Lindsay comes away with a big block. Now gets the ball. Hames, Chloe Van Dyke going to get called for the foul. Plead the case, but that's not going to work. A warning to the Reinhardt bench. So both Van Dykes having 3 fouls apiece. Smith coming back into the game. Smith has 3 of her own. Chloe Van Dyke out of the game. Brothers in. She'll replace the Kuabla. Wesleyan inbounds it to Carpenter. Under 8 to go. Lindsay bounce pass to Howard. Now to Carpenter on the handoff, working against Grant. Lindsay comes off a hesitation screen. Now the pass over to Hames. Hames to Carpenter, head fake. She'll drive, looking to get it to Brown. Shot clock at 8. Brown hesitation, dribble, top of the key, blocked. Ball battled for, out of bounds, off of Wesleyan, says the official. Lawson coming back to get into the ball game quickly for Wesleyan. Cameron Brown will exit. Give her a breather before getting her back in there. Trailing 58 to 51. Here's Grant, top of the key. Carpenter right there on her hip. Good help defense by Lawson. Shot off the mark. Carpenter gets the rebound, getting hounded by Grant. Dribbles out of it. Up to Lawson it goes. Wanting to lob it down to Howard. Bounce pass down to Howard. Out to Hames, guarded by Van Dyke. Bounces it to Carpenter, top of the key. Carpenter, quick crossover, flips it to Lindsay. Lindsay gets free. Carpenter gets fouled on the shot. Coach Campbell wanting the illegal screen call. Van Dyke's going to pick up her fourth. Lana Van Dyke, that is. Team second of the quarter. Franklin in for Lana Van Dyke. Coach Campbell's been given a warning. They're talking to his player about having a good block. Said she was straight up with two hands up top, but somebody's arms came down because Sloan Carpenter had it slapped across the forearms. 6-point game, 58-52, 6:49 to play. Conference game heating up. Carpenter missed it. Rebound collected here by Smith. Smith gets it to Brothers. Brothers guarded by Lindsay. They swing it left wing over to Franklin. Franklin hands it to Grant. She'll fire another triple, and it's in there. Mario Grant pushes the lead to 9. 6.5 to go, under 6.5. Here's Lawson, sidesteps the screen. Carpenter near corner. Screen from Howard. Carpenter goes opposite, pulls the long two, no good. Off the back of the iron. Wesleyan will drop back in the half-court defense. Quickly, McCutcheons catches it on the near corner. Fires a triple off the mark. Rebound collected by Carpenter, or cleared out to Carpenter at least. Here's Lindsay. High post feed to Howard. Howard gets it to Lawson. Sets the screen for Lawson, bounces it back to Howard. Near corner, Hames. Now she'll take the three after the stutter step, and it's in there, the fourth of the ball game for Leslie Hames. 4 of 8, 50% from behind the arc. 6-point game, 5.5 to play. Reinhardt wants to talk it over. Well, timeout on the court. Wesleyan trailing 61-55. We'll be back after 60 seconds. .534 exactly remaining after the 30-second timeout was called by Reinhardt. Turns into a media timeout for a full 60. Wesleyan trailing by 6 now after Leslie Hames has knocked down her fourth three-pointer. She leads all scorers with 16 points. Carpenter right there on Grant. Ball middle of the floor to Smith. Smith's layup no good. Franklin battling for the rebound, but Carpenter comes away with it. Got tipped straight to Sloan. Here's Lawson. Hames wanting it on the far wing. Got to think you got to give it to her. Here's Howard, though, on a cut. Layup on the left side is good for Julia Howard. It's a 4-point game once again, 5:02 to play. Van Dyke, sisters back to the scorer's table. Running floater by McCutcheons off the mark. Rebound collected here by Sloan Carpenter again. Wesleyan can cut it to a one-possession game. Big offensive possession coming here. Here's Hames to Carpenter. High post feed to Howard. Backdoor cut by Lindsay. Layup is good by Jalea Lindsay. Wesleyan to within 2. 4:30 to play. Defense getting the crowd behind them here. McCutcheons sends it right wing to Smith. Smith to Grant. Grant takes a deep, high arcing three. What a shot. Heat check time right there. 5-point game. 64-59. Wesleyan offensively goes right back to Howard, high post. Now to Lawson. Lawson has to regain a handle of it. She'll drive in. Gets the Euro stop, but missed it. Now Wesleyan got to get back defensively. McCutcheon's with it. Gets it to Carpenter, now to Grant. Pass deflected, Howard gets the steal. Carpenter gonna push it, 3.5 to go. Again, 64-59, timeout called by the Lady Bulldogs. Try to set up the offense here. 30-second timeout, we'll be back here on the Bulldog Digital Network. .332 remaining. Wesleyan with the ball out of the timeout. Down low, Lindsay lost it on the baseline, kind of overthrown by Howard. Not the look Wesleyan needed out of taking the break there. Brothers out, Smith back in, a little offensive defensive substitution because Smith has 3 fouls. Here's McCutcheon's up the court, far side. Wesleyan down by 5, trailed by as many as 18 early in the third quarter after trailing by 14 at the half. Hesitation dribble, ball turned over, Hames ends up with it, gets it out to White. White, Hames, Howard, Lindsay, and Lawson the 5 for Tennessee Wesleyan. Both Van Dykes, Grant, Smith, and McCutcheon's the 5 for Reinhardt. 15-foot jumper by Lawson off the mark, ball tipped around. White trying to come flying in and get the loose ball, but she'll commit the foul. Her third, team first of the quarter. Reinhardt with 2 fouls for the team. McCutcheon's up the near side of the court, working with it to the right wing. Now top of the key to Grant. She's knocked down some clutch 3-pointers. Here's McCutcheon's near wing, 2.5 to go. 5-point game, ball deflected, Carpenter picks it up. Carpenter, pass 2 Reinhardt defenders, Wesleyan with numbers. Here's Lindsay, drives inside, running floater, too strong. Wesleyan wanted the outside shot, had Hames open on the far wing. Just couldn't get it to go. Clock nearing the 2-minute mark. Top of the key, Chloe Van Dyke crosses over. Shovel pass to Lana Van Dyke, but the ball will be inbounded underneath. This one's going to be on Hames, her first, team second. So both teams with 2 fouls apiece. Got to get to 5 for it to be a double bonus shooting foul. Inbounds comes to Lana Van Dyke, out to McCutcheon's. McCutcheon's working against Lawson. Out to Grant, got behind the screen, missed the 3. Howard, good box out there against Van Dyke. Another opportunity for Wesleyan. Out of the timeout, nobody scored. Howard gets it quickly out to Lindsay. Lindsay drives. Here's Howard, layup on the left side is good, and the foul. Coach Campbell shouting out a legal screen, but Wesleyan gets the 3-point play opportunity. Smith's going to commit her 4th foul, team 3rd. Coach Campbell got to maybe watch it here. He's already been warned. Howard at the line, of course, fighting for his team. Howard's 3-point play, no good. Chloe Van Dyke rebounds it, clears it out to McCutcheon, 64-61. Stop here would be huge for the Lady Bulldogs. Here's drive by Smith. Layup on the right side, though, is easily taken. Back to a 5-point game, 1:25 to play. Wesleyan already had an overtime game with Spartanburg Methodist on Saturday. Came out on the losing end there, 71-70. Here's Howard, driving dish to Carpenter. Carpenter all the way in against McCutcheon, forced the layup on the right side and missed it. Minute 5 to play. Time winding down for Wesleyan to make this comeback. Howard was battling Lana Van Dyke inside. Now McCutcheon's taking it off the dribble. Charge called on McCutcheon's. Her second, team fourth. She went flying in. Howard got set right there. Good job by Julia Howard to take the charge. 52.6 remaining. Still a 5-point game. Carpenter going to push it up the floor. Carpenter, crossover, gets into the paint, looking for help out to Lawson, top of the key. Lawson sidesteps the defender, trying to take the three, and it caroms off the left side. Now Coach Smith calling for the fouls. McCutcheon's going to push the pace into the corner. Wesleyan trying to foul her. No call yet. Wesleyan gets the steal, they think, but Carpenter steps out of bounds. 26.5 remaining, still a 5-point game here. And what a comeback the Lady Bulldogs have had. It'll be a side out of bounds from Smith, guarded by Lindsay on the inbounds. Inbounds comes to McCutcheon's. Carpenter commits the foul. Got to have 2 more. Carpenter picks up her third. Lindsay getting set to guard the inbounder, and Smith. Pass nearly deflected. Smith gets the layup. No, it's blocked. Ooh! Lawson looked like she got all ball, but they're going to call her for the foul. Thought that was a great stop. But the 4th foul for the Lady Bulldogs will send Smith to the line for 2 shots. Still a 5-point game. She goes 1 for 2 at the line. Then Wesleyan's still just 2 possessions, but she makes the first one. 67-61. Lindsay already drifting back, but Grant watching her. Missed lane violation on Lady Bulldogs, it looks like. So they'll replay the free throw. She'd missed it already. That would have benefited Wesleyan, 21.3. She misses it a second time. Lana Van Dyke gets the rebound, and Howard commits the foul. Howard's 3rd, team 5th. And so Lana Van Dyke to the line, 65% shooter on the season. 19.2 remaining, 6-point game. Reinhardt looking their 4th win in a row. Wesleyan looking at their 6th loss in a row. This is the first one. Second one out. Howard gets the rebound. Coach Smith wants to take the timeout. Advances the ball to the half court. So with 18.2 remaining, trailing by 6, we'll see what Coach Smith draws up when we come back. 18.2 seconds remaining in this one. It's going to take a miracle, but Wesleyan's drawing it up here in the timeout, trailing 67-61. And they trailed by 18 and trailed by double digits most of the game until here in the second half. Carpenter gets the inbounds. Quickly back to Hames. Hames trying to find help. Now to Howard. Hames lost the handle. Spanning in the lane, 10 seconds to go. Hames threw a lot of contact, couldn't get the whistle there. And Wesleyan's going to let the clock run out on this one. And another valiant effort just coming up short here for the Lady Bulldogs. With 4.5 to go, they cut it to a 2-point game. But then a Grant three-pointer was a gut check to give Reinhardt the 5-point lead that they didn't look back from. Got it down to 3, 64-61, but then Reinhardt able to pull away here late with a big bucket inside and then a free throw. So Reinhardt goes to 10-5 overall, now 7-1 in the conference. Again, won their last 5 games in a row, and they are 6-4 on the road. Tennessee Wesleyan drops to 4-10, 3-6 in the conference, 4-2 here at home, and have lost their last 6 ball games. So we'll take a short break and then bring you some final stats here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Back here on the Bulldog Digital Network, correction, Wesleyan now 2-6 at home, and they have lost 7 games in a row after the defeat here by Reinhardt. But big effort there. Lady Bulldogs 67-61 losers against Reinhardt. Again, they were down most of the game, and actually the entire game, except for being tied up at 3 apiece. But Lady Bulldogs tried to make a comeback late and cut it into a reasonable category, but Reinhardt makes some big shots down the stretch, makes free throws when they need to pick up their 10th win of the regular season, 7th in the conference, and helps keep their positioning, trying to catch Milligan and Bryan, who are undefeated in conference play, 8-0, 7-0 respectively. So hanging right there in the 3rd place. Looking at your final stats here of the ball game, team numbers. Tennessee Wesleyan shoots 21 of 58, 36.2%, compared to the 42.3% by Reinhardt, 22 of 52. 3-point percentage, Wesleyan really barely outdoes Reinhardt there, 31.8% to 31.6. They end up knocking down 7 of 22. Reinhardt 6 of 19. Free throws, 12 of 19, 63.2%. Reinhardt 68%, 17 of 25. Lady Bulldogs get the better of them in the turnover category, 14-16. They do get 9 points off of 16 turnovers. Reinhardt gets 14 off of the 14 turnovers by Tennessee Wesleyan. Lady Eagles out rebound the Lady Bulldogs 39-35. They had 8 offensive, 31 defensive. Tennessee Wesleyan 10 offensive, 25 defensive. Assist, Wesleyan 16 of 21 made shots they assist on, 14 of 22 made shots by Reinhardt. Wesleyan gets beat in the block category in the second half, and it's a 4-3 advantage for Reinhardt. And then Wesleyan 8-6 in terms of steals over Reinhardt. And together the teams commit 37 fouls apiece, or together. Individual scoring for you. Mondasia Smith has 18.7 boards, most of her work coming at the free throw line. as well as knocking down 12 of them inside the arc. 12 points by Maria Grant, along with 2 assists on her credit. McCutcheons with 11 points, 3 boards, 5 assists. 10 points, 2 boards by Akua Blah. 8 points, 10 boards by Chloe Van Dyke, and then Lana Van Dyke, 6 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. Mackenzie Franklin, 2 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. That's your individual scoring for Reinhardt. On the other side, Jalea Lindsay, in only her second game back since injury, she puts up 17 big points, a lot of that coming in the third and fourth quarter as she was wheeling her way into the rim and trying to convert. Goes 7 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 behind the arc, 2 of 4 from the line, 7 boards, 2 assists. 16 points, 2 boards by Leslie Hames. She was 5 of 11 from the field, including that 4 of 8 from behind the arc, 2 of 2 from the line. 11 points by Jordan White. She was 3 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, 2 boards, 2 assists. 6 points, 4 boards, 6 assists for Julia Howard. Sloan Carpenter, 4 points, 8 rebounds. 3 points, 5 boards, 1 assist by Tally Lawson. Courtney Berry, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And then 1 point, 1 rebound in the debut for Jada Edwards. And Cameron Brown ends the night with an assist to her credit. And Aubrey Long also getting minutes there for the Lady Bulldogs. So Tennessee Wesleyan unfortunately dropping their 7th game in a row. Their 6th game here at home, and now they're 3-6 inside the conference and 4-10 overall. So they will need some help to improve their standings coming up. They were in a 5-way tie for 7th place with Spartanburg Methodist, who beat them on Saturday, and also have Montreat, Truett McConnell, and Union Commonwealth knotted up. All of them were 3-5 before coming into tonight's matchups in the conference. So Lady Bulldogs will be back in action at Johnson on Saturday, and then Bernal at home a week from tonight. We'll see them here for that one, only the women's game that night on the 14th, the 5:30 tip-off. Coming up next here on the Bulldog Digital Network will be the men of Tennessee Wesleyan as they are warming up with the Reinhardt Eagles out here in a showdown in some of the strongest teams on the men's side of the Appalachian Athletic Conference. So we'll take a short break here, get ready for that broadcast, and then bring you that play-by-play action here on the Bulldog Digital Network.